And so it was easy to start finishing each other's sentences, or just know, I'm picking the pink one, but he's going to probably pick the blue one or whatever. Okay, let's see. Oh, a cheat code. So somebody mentioned to me about a week or so ago about, like giving the other person the cheat code to your heart, right? This is I want to say this is controversial or up for debate, but the thing about it is, right? A lot of people will be like, oh, don't become mysterious and don't allow that person to figure you all out, and don't make it so easy for them, let them work. Okay, I agree with a man working, okay? But working more or less like for the family, okay? Like in simpler times, working like if he wants to marry you, go build a house for him to put you in, right? So back in the old days, what did men have to do? Men had to go and, build a house, okay? Create a farm or whatever, right? Or whatever, create stability for you. That's working for you. That's how a man should work for you, for the relationship, so that he might have to work or get his situation prepared to have a mate or a family, whatever, in his life, right? That's how he has to work for you. But to make a man go jump through hula hoops or through a corn maze, and where he never feels successful at making you happy, or like he never feels like he actually can make you happy, whatever, is actually very detrimental to your relationship. I mean, I think women are naturally kind of challenging for men in general, because we're women and we come with a lot of emotions and stuff. But if a man is always feeling like distraught, or if he's always getting the wind knocked out of his sails, and basically he's always feeling like a loser around you, he's not going to want to be around you. He's going to eventually feel like, well, you know what? I just can't win with this person. And that may actually be the case, right? Naturally, even if you have a magnetic attraction to each other, you might still find each other challenging, but you're able to meet the challenges of whatever they are, and you come out feeling victorious. Like a winner chicken dinner, and I'm not saying you just, make everything easy for this guy, like you just let him just, milk the cow, so to speak, or whatever, all this stuff. That's not, and I'm not talking about that either, but at some point he should feel like he is an actual winner with you, that he is actually doing something right? Okay, and so, how do I want to put this? He should naturally be able to figure out the cheat code to your heart by his actions, the things that he's done, and him being able to see your reaction. As long as you are showing up authentically and being real, right? And so if a man buys you flowers and you like flowers and you're like, yay, thank you, oh my God. And he can see you are visibly happy and you're responding in a good way. He's going to know, oh, I can do that again because she likes that. Put that on the cheat code, right? The challenge might be in just him doing the different activities and figuring all those things out. And it's in that journey or that little bit of initial challenge or whatever, right, that he is feeling stronger and working for you. But I feel like, to just, write down a cheat code and give it to a man, I personally feel like that doesn't work anyway, because I've tried that. And that doesn't matter. You can do that all day long, and it's not even manipulation. Like, it's like women will feel like, oh, I'm not going to do that because it's like he'll be able to manipulate me. No, it won't. I do it. I've done it before, and I'm like, let me see. Go ahead. Let's see if you can make me happy. Here's my honey-do list. Here's the things that I like, whatever. And let me just see if, whatever. Did it work? No. Because the thing about it is, if you're not compatible with somebody, or if it's not really true, if it's not really supposed to be meant to be or whatever, he is not going to be able to, he's not going to want to do it. or he's not going to want to listen, or he just is not going to read it, or he's not going to care, or something about it, it's just not going to be right. It's not going to be right. I've done that twice. I've literally done that twice. Like, actually given out, like, if you want to call it a cheat code, but just basically things that I like, things that I don't like. Like, basically, I like my sleep. Don't bother me when I'm sleeping. I like my sleep. Don't bother me. But you will learn that if I don't need to put that on a list. You will learn that because you will figure that one out, right? But it's like, if it's a constant thing, I'm constantly saying, don't wake me up. You are, aggravating me in the morning when you get, like, whatever it is, right? Like, this is one of the huge thing for me. And you can't be a winner with that. Like, you can't figure out a way to not wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, whenever you're leaving for work or whatever, which is causing me to be aggravated Krabby Patty because I like my sleep. If you can't figure that out, I mean, or you're not willing to do those, like being extra quiet in the morning or whatever, like adjust to that or whatever, I could write it down all day long, but it's like, it's not working. So it's like, what do you do with that knowledge, right? What do you do with it? And also, if that makes me happy and I'm giving you the cheat code and it's like, oh, that's manipulation? No. I mean, it could be like, if you want to look at that as love bombing, I look at that as normal. Like that, for example, like that example right there. I look at that as just good, just regular treatment. Not being woken up. Don't wake me up. I mean, I've been this way for as long as I can remember. My mother, like, we're this way. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of women are this way, right? But it's like, you can't love bomb me to death with that. No, I just need you to do that every single day. Like, I don't know. I don't know. So I've done that, and it doesn't matter. Like, I don't look at it as manipulation. I'm just looking at it, okay, like, he tried, and maybe it worked and maybe it didn't. But I remember with my late husband Travis, I didn't know how to do that with him. It's like he figured certain things out rather quickly, whatever it was. I don't know. It was a very unconscious thing, but he did it and he just continued to do it. Right. And, it just clicked. Right. And, the other thing I noticed, like, when you're with a real true soulmate, right? Conflict resolution. Because when you think about any relationship, soulmate or not, to make a good relationship work, right, you need to be able to have good conflict resolution skills. What do I mean by that? I mean, actually coming to a resolution. I mean, not ignoring each other, not just being quiet, not building up resentment, or where you're just not going to deal with one another, or, just where you're overlooking something or whatever and secretly getting back by doing other little things that he doesn't know. All that kind of passive aggression type of stuff. No. Real conflict resolution is actually being able to work out whatever it is that is bringing about the conflict and coming to a resolution that works for both of you, right? And being able to do that without screaming, yelling, throwing things, being toxic, throwing out names, calling each other Satan the devil, calling upon the demons, if that's what you do. I don't know. Being on that demon time in general, right? To where you basically, like, never really come to a resolution, or the only thing you come to a resolution about is that you don't want to be in each other's space. Okay. That kind of thing. That's not conflict resolution. But if that's how you attempt to handle conflicts, well, long term, that's not going to work. Like, long term, that's just going to be like, that is the opposite of soothing your soul. That is the opposite of soothing your nerves, right? And calming your nerves. That's the opposite. It makes that is not good conflict resolution skills. And it's kind of like, when I was younger, I didn't even really understand that. Like, I didn't even really think about that term or anything. But what I noticed with my late husband, and I've had another relationship that I was definitely a soulmate. But what I noticed in those type of relationships where there's it's a real natural flow. Conflict resolution is a real natural flow. Meaning, like, because the love is there and trusted, you naturally seek to want to understand the other person's view, and you both do that. And because you both do that, and you both naturally pull to each other, you don't run from seeking resolution. You don't run from dealing with the conflict. Like, you don't run. You draw in closer to try to discern where the problem is or where the other person is coming from. But it's a real natural thing. It doesn't feel unnatural. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, I gotta deal with this again. I gotta drink something first. I gotta smoke something first. I gotta, sing Kumbaya and, whatever, to build yourself up, to deal with, confronting or dealing with whatever the conflict is. Okay. It's like whatever the little things that present as conflicts, the resolutions and the just overcoming them, they're not hard. You just find, easy resolutions, especially when two people are opposite. Because when two people are opposite, or you're not, you're not even, you're gonna have conflicts, or you're gonna have things that are kind of like, not the same. I want to go here, you want to go there, or whatever. And then it becomes, well, okay, we'll go to your place at this time, and we'll do mine over here at this time, or whatever, or today or tomorrow, or you want to go do this, but I want to watch football, or whatever, right? And it's like, okay, this Sunday we'll do what you want to do, next Sunday we'll do what I want to do, or whatever, right? Like, you kind of just naturally come to fix problems easily. You don't need a cheat code, and you don't need to, play games or, try to trauma bond with somebody, or create extra drama, or, disappear and try to make that person call you, or, anything toxic. You don't have to make anybody, it's like, you don't need to do any of that. And the next thing you know, months, years, days, months, years, it's like time flies by so fast when you're with a soulmate. And it's like, wow, did we really have we really known each other that long? Or have we actually been together? Has it really already been, 5 years, a year, 3 years, 10 years? It's like that. It feels like that, right? Because the feeling and the pull towards each other, it doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. And the excitement of that, the wonderment of that, the desire to spend time with each other, all of that, it doesn't go away. It doesn't ever stop. And that's just normal of a true soulmate. Like, when you're with, the right kind of person, it just feels like that. It literally just feels like that. There's a natural pull to each other, and the curiosity for each other, it doesn't ever go away. It doesn't ever go away. Okay, so yeah, conflict resolution. That was on my list. I talked about this, naturally zooming in on each other. Yeah, that's the other thing. I remember, I definitely remember this feeling, for sure, in like 2 different relationships, where it didn't matter how many people were around, it didn't matter how big the crowd was, or it didn't matter where we were, it never mattered. It literally never mattered how many people were around, in any environment, because there was always a sense of, where you would zoom in on each other. Obviously, if you are out with friends or whatever, you're going to be talking, or whatever, your attention will be pulled here, there, everywhere, if you're like, at a wedding or whatever. But the point is that at different times of the event, the evening or whatever, the day, you will notice the two of you will always zoom in on each other or come back to home base. It feels like that. Like you will never, it's like, it doesn't matter. It does not matter what the entertainment is or what is going on or how many people are around. The two of you will just naturally somehow always like lock eyes, be back together. You just always will zoom in on each other. And I remember also, even in like a kind of an extreme example of this, one year we were heading out for a hurricane. It was a hurricane coming in Florida, and everybody had to evacuate. And this is when we first got married. And I remember Travis and I, like, we had pagers. I think we had pagers. We did not have cell phones at the time. So yeah, there was no cell phones. I think it was like when we first got married too, because this would have been in '99, I think. I don't know, but anyway, so everybody was heading out of Florida, and you know, if you ever had to evacuate, or if you've ever had to experience this, it's horrible. It's like so much traffic, and you cannot. It's almost hard to really stay behind one another. You really can't, because it's just so much traffic. It's just so much traffic. And so, but I was in my car, he was in his car. We didn't want to leave the cars because, of course, we didn't want them to get destroyed, you know. And we were heading to South Carolina to stay with his family. And we got separated early on in, like, while in Florida. We got separated. And that wasn't the plan, you know. And so I remember though, I think the plan was just to follow him because I didn't have the address. Yeah, I did not have the address. And anyway, we got separated, and it was like, I really didn't know where to go, right? I just knew, I didn't know where to go. He was ahead of me or whatever, but I remember having a few moments of like, because I didn't know where to go. I didn't know if I should keep going, you know, or if I should stop, or if I should, you know, go back home, you know, maybe go to my parents. I don't know. I really, because and it was a lack of communication. You know, there was no communication. There was zero communication. And we were heading up 95. And I remember, I didn't like that. Of course, I didn't like the feeling. I just didn't like that. I didn't know what to do. And I guess we should have come up with a better plan. Really and truly, we should have come up with a better plan. But I remember, like, every time I stopped either to use the restroom or whatever, I remember feeling like, what should I do? And I never had driven that far by myself or whatever. I didn't, you know. And I remember thinking, no, I feel like Travis would want me to keep going. I remember that, you know. And I remember feeling like actually thinking inside of myself, like, where is Travis right now? Like, where is he? What would he want me to do? Like, just what feels like the right thing? Because remind you, I was by myself, you know, everybody's heading out, and it was kind of scary for me. I was young, okay? And and I just remember saying, no, I think he's gonna keep going. And as we were on 95, I remember stopping at the exit that he actually came and picked me up from, pulled me back away from to go get married. I remember stopping at that exit thinking, he's probably going to stop there and wait for me there. And I remember, you know, doing that. I remember going there, stopping at the exact McDonald's, you know, that was right there off the exit, you know. And I waited around for a little minute or whatever, and I never saw him. I didn't see him. And so then it was like, okay, should I go forward? Should I keep going? Or what should I do? I don't know. You know, like, he's just literally lost. Like, we lost each other, and we were just not, you know. It was like, I remember feeling like, what was that cartoon, or that movie cartoon with Five-O Goes West, or something like that? The mouse, you know? It was like, you know, when you keep missing each other. I remember feeling like that, right? But anyway, I said, no, I'm going to keep going to South Carolina. I'm going to keep going. Because something just told me to keep going. And it was basically me thinking like, what would he want me to do? What would he want me to do? You know, and anyway, I kept going, and I did make it to South Carolina, and I remember finally stopping and calling on a payphone. I remember the payphone, and I remember calling his family and was like, okay, I'm here in South Carolina. I'm here. I made it here. And I just remember I picked up the phone. I remember saying that, and his family, he was there. He was already there. And everybody was like, she's here. She made it. She made it. She's here. And he was like, oh my God. He was like, my baby. And he came to the phone so fast. He was like, oh my God. I was concerned. I was so worried. I didn't know what happened. He's like, oh my God, where are you at? I'm coming to get you. And because nobody could get a hold of me. And he was so worried. He was so happy that I made it and that I came. And he was like, I stopped at our exit in Savannah. I waited for you there. I just knew for sure you were going to come and meet me there. And I was like, I did stop. I said, I guess you stopped at the wrong time. I don't know. But he did. He came and got me exactly where I was at, so I could follow him to his family's house. And he was like, I hate this feeling. I never want to. But when I think about that, naturally, the two of you will always just zoom in on each other. Like, that's just what a real soulmate feels like. That's just what it feels like. You will zoom in on each other, even in the worst of circumstances, or even in the most extreme circumstances, or even what seems to be the most impossible circumstances to overcome. Even when it's like bad communication, no cell phones, whatever. When that person is your soulmate, or is a soulmate to you, like, if that's what it really is, you will zoom in on each other. You will not be able to help it. You will not be able to change that fact. You will not be able to avoid the pull of the two of you. And also, you will eventually, if you are even trying to fight it, or you're not quite sure or whatever, you will concede to that. You will concede, meaning you will give in. I will say, like, as a man, it'll be like it's those times when you have, when you see on movies, or when you know that person who's always a player, or the one who never wants to get married, or the one who has a perpetual woman eater, woman, like, just dates around, dates or whatever, flirtatious or whatever. And you will eventually, when that person finally does settle down, really, when they finally just, it'll feel like a conceding, like, I give up. They feel, that's what it feels like for, like, on the man side, like, when men talk or whatever, and they'll see that person just basically like, yo, dog, you get married, like, what? It'll feel like that. It'll be like, what? And that person will feel like it'll be a feeling of concession. Like, I cannot resist this pull, or this polarity, this, because that's just what it is. It'll be like, this is just love. In love, and when you are with a soulmate and you are in a loving relationship, that loving feeling and that love will exist forever. Okay? Death might actually part you, or you could be states away. You could be across the world. And the love exists. The love still exists. The love is still there. The feeling is still there. None of that, no matter how far apart or whatever, will keep you from zooming in on each other. Even so much as, and you may have never heard of this, whatnot, but some people can, depending on how like in tune you are with yourself and everything. Some people can feel even strong energy through pictures, and can even feel a sense of familiarity even with somebody they never met, like in a picture. And that's a real thing. I mean, that's a real thing, because pictures have energy, right? And you can kind of like feel that. It's a sense of familiarity. It's a strong pull, like this person is a part of your soul, or like a soulmate, or that people call it your soul family, but in general, yeah, people that just, you get them, they get you, right? And it doesn't matter where they are on the planet. Okay, and that doesn't matter. It's just the love is just love here, there, and anywhere. That's just what it is. So that's why it'll look like on the man's side like a concession, like they just concede. It'll be like, yeah, dog, I gotta marry this one. Like, I just can't, whatever. And on the female side, it will look like, like even if, like, no matter where she is in her life, or as far as like where she is on her journey or whatever, she could be the kind of person that's like I said this with Travis, I didn't want kids because, I worked at a daycare center, and I also babysat like 50 million kids before we ever got married. I did that for I literally did that like for, my little side thing when I was a teenager, but I also was the oldest, and I was just like kidded out. I was so kidded out that I was like, when we got married, I was like, I don't want to have kids right away. I don't want to do it. I just need to I wanted to be able to work or whatever, do some things. And within a few years, as he changed, because we were opening up the barbershop and things were new. And as he changed his feelings or whatever, and he started to want kids or whatever, and when he said it, it was like a conceding for me too. Like, it was like, okay, I wanted to though, because it was like, for him, yeah, I would do that, but it would be like, for anybody else, or if you were trying to meet in a relationship with somebody else and you didn't have that real feeling, it wouldn't be like that. It would be a lot more fight, a lot more struggle. There would be a lot more, and you would notice that in the woman. So like, if you bring out the fight in the woman, like if you bring out her tiger side, her lion side, her cat side, if you are constantly bringing out the fight, the argue, out of her, she's going to constantly be seeking to protect herself, her money, her emotions, her in general. And she will not be her true self. She will not concede, and whatever it looks like for her as a woman, as far as the things about her, right? And so that's like what it looks like maybe on the outside, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, anyway, this has gone on way too long. I don't even know how it went on this long. I'm going to have to cut this in half because, yeah, as you guys can see, I'm a talker. But you know what? This comes up all the time. This comes up so much in conversation with friends, girlfriends, and different people. Like, everybody's always like, Mel, like, how did you know? Or whatever, or whatever. That I just think it's good to hear, like, real life perspective. And I just think it's good to talk about, like, to be maybe to be of a help, to others, and to also know that it exists. Like, it really does exist. That type of a love, an endless love, because it is an endless, that's what it is. It's an endless, it doesn't stop. It doesn't go away. Even when that person dies, you'll still look at photos or whatever, and you will still feel the love and the pull. It will still be there. Okay, and that's what a true soulmate feels like. As far as like, if you're, breaking it down. Anyway, I've talked too long. Bye.